Hello everybody, welcome back to another Mysidia Post video talking about Dragon Quest of the Stars. We're here to look at the Sword of Kings and Light Armor banner, which just came out today, and man, it is a doozy. It looks real good, so we're going to get into that in just a second, but first I'm going to quickly thank all of my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to put you guys up on the screen for everyone to see, and we'll move on after that. So this banner is pretty amazing looking so far. It comes with a bunch of different featured items. There's a whole gear set here, the light armor set and the Sword of the King's weapon, and it all goes together and you can see it on screen. We also have the golden claws, which have a really interesting ability, and we have the Falcon Blade, which is a sword that we've seen in the past, and I bet you've probably rented it quite a few times from your helper and seen how incredible the abilities on this thing are. So let's get a closer look at some of the gear, and we'll kind of go from there. So starting at the beginning, we have the Sword of Kings, which is a very powerful weapon because it comes with just a bunch of slots, and it has, well, essentially one of every slot that you need, and some really powerful abilities on those slots to start off with. Giga Slash is a 360 potency zap type attack, single enemy, but it can cut their CT by 30%, so that's really huge. It's a DPS move that also cuts CT, and it's not tied to a vocation, so that's pretty important to just have that on maybe one of your vocations that doesn't have CT cutting abilities, and then you can just really go after a boss and make sure they don't cast their big effect. So that's really impressive. You can see that the potency goes all the way up to 520%, which is very strong for just a solo attack. It also comes with Kaswoosh, which is just an A-level spell. It hits all enemies. Those AoE spells, especially on a caster that can do a lot of damage with them, are very powerful and are really nice for just clearing out trash when you're going through dungeons, because you can clear out a stage very quickly if you just have AoE skills for each of your party members lined up, and helps you kind of farm stuff and just go right through the main scenario quests and all the sub-quests and stuff. So you also get your C and attack abilities and support spells, which is a high level to get right off the bat. And if we are able to evolve this, then you're going to get B and A ranks on almost everything, and a really high 170 max upgrade. So this weapon is obviously a big deal. It's really good, so I would highly recommend that you try to get it. Next up, we have the Hero Shield, which has a bunch of abilities, and the defend ability is incredible. So it says here, reduces damage taken by 50% for 3 turns, raises attack by 20% for 2 turns, and target self heals 100 HP when used. So this is like using a high level herb or like a cure, or not even a cure, it's better than a cure, right when you use it. So it's you could just be using as a heal, not necessarily using it to defend. This is a really good skill, and it only gets better. Well, actually, you know what? Sorry, it doesn't. It does not get better in terms of its potency, but it does get better in terms of its CT. So if you were to upgrade this skill, that would be worth being able to cast it as much as possible at 10 seconds. This shield also comes with Stun Guard, which can go all the way up to 60%, very relevant. And CT Down Guard, which can get up to 20%, which is again a very relevant skill. It's pretty nice to have all of these skills on one shield, so this is probably another chase piece of equipment that you're going to be going for at this for this banner. The Light Helm has a bunch of skills as well. So we have Hero's Challenge, which raises attack by 40% once per battle when enemy is angered or enraged. Lasts at least 2 turns. This is really neat because obviously if you're fighting any of the big bosses, as soon as they enrage is when you need to kind of DPS them down, and if you're going the slow and steady route, then this is going to be really huge for you. So again, just like a really powerful effect, and it's got 2 more, which is really nice. So Light of the Blade, effects that boost attack cannot be negated by Frigid Wave, which is if you're doing a lot of the All Trades Temple, you'll notice that those bosses wipe all of your buffs pretty consistently, so this would stop any attack buffs from being negated, which is again, a very relevant skill. And then Strength Plus is just a solid little bonus on top of that. So far we're 3 for 3 on this banner. These are all really nice. The next one is Light Armor Top, which is Zap Guard High, which is minus 45%. That's good, so solid ability there. Light Breath down damage mid, so that can go up to 30% reduction of light breath damage. And typically when you have these featured sets, they tag along with the event that you're rolling for. So the new Dragon Quest III event probably has bosses that do light breath damage and zap damage, which is why we're seeing them on these pieces of equipment. And then finally HP Plus, which is just a solid little topper right there. For the final piece of featured armor, we have the Light Armor Bottom, which has, again, 3 abilities. So Sacred Grace heals at least 30 HP after using a shield skill. So if you're using this with the shield, you're healing 130 HP after using a shield skill. Although I would likely use this with a different character so that multiple characters can heal when you defend. This is a really neat skill. Sporadic Energizing Rain has a 3% chance of filling all allies' CT by 30% at the start of the turn. This is maybe my favorite ability I've ever seen, because even though at max effect at 7%, that's still ridiculous. If you can imagine, just at the start of any turn, you have a chance of just filling up all your skills and then going ham on the boss, unleashing a mayhem. That's pretty incredible. And then finally we have breath damage down, and this is just really neat because it's all breath, so it doesn't matter what element it is, it's going to hit them all. This is a really relevant skill. Okay, so far everything's pretty incredible on the banner. We have some claws coming up next, and I don't really like claws very much, but these are looking pretty nice too. So the first ability they have is Rake and Break, which is a 300% potency attack that removes all beneficial effects from the enemy, and it's a single target. It can go up to 400% potency. So removing buffs from enemies is pretty cool. There's some bosses, for instance, the most recent monster event, when you got to the second to last boss on the golems and the devils, there was so much buffing going on, and it's really annoying if you didn't deal with the minions. And the same thing with some of these high level bosses in the events, that there's just a lot of buffing going on. So being able to remove a boss's buffs is pretty cool. I like that a lot. So that might actually be relevant as a support thing, and I think you'd be pretty happy if you were playing multiplayer and someone brought those with them. So otherwise it has a B, a C, and a C. So 2 attacks and a support, and those are all really good slots. We're not looking at anything like a D. Right off the gate you can put on some more powerful attacks there. If we evolve it, we're going to actually get B or A on everything, which is nice and relevant, and the power is higher than what we've seen on other gear. So this is looking like a pretty nice weapon. If you get these, then you should be pretty happy. And then finally we have the Falcon Blade, which is something that you should be familiar with. It's something that we've seen before. It has the Gyrfalcon Slash, which is a 100% potency 3-hit attack. So your normal attack 3 times, but that goes up to 150 when you upgrade it, which you obviously will. The CT is really short, which is super nice for getting those skillful finishes on the early stages. And it also comes with Falcon War Dance, which raises your agility by 30% for at least 3 turns, and grants 1 additional standard attack for 3 turns. So this is a really great skill because obviously if you're attacking more with a powerful weapon, you're just dealing a lot of damage. It's almost like making your regular attacks be a mini Gyrfalcon Slash. And then you also get an A attack ability. So this is really strong right off the base, and if you evolve it, then you actually get healing slots and a support slot, which is really nice. So it would be worth evolving too if that were something easy that we could do. And then after this, you're going to get into the kind of the stuff that we get every single banner. So all these different weapons, and then a bunch of different pieces of armor, shields, and all that kind of stuff. So you have a good chance on your guaranteed 5-star of getting all of these, and a much lower chance of getting your select featured gear. So good luck to you on your pulls. if you want to know whether you should pull on this is a banner that I myself will be pulling on. As you can see up here, I know it's not a ton, but I've got 10,000 gems, so I'm going to do 3 pulls, and hopefully we'll see if I can get anything good. Actually, you know what? We can do those right now. So I like to just do the skip here. All right. So we've got Scholar's Robe, one of our fodder, but it's still nice to get this many 5 stars in one pull. And that's the zombie killer. So not exactly what you want to see, but still, you can't really be complaining when you pulled 4. Hey, there we go. So there's Light Helm. My day is made. And a double I guess I can evolve that zombie killer then, or maybe take some skills off of it. Okay, so we're gonna go for another one, and we'll see how we do on that. And if we do well, maybe we'll stop. Another 3. I've never gotten more than 2, and that was only once. So this is kind of my lucky day. Holy Knight's Armor Bottom. Nice. Sounds very cool. It's not the light armor bottom, but you know. Well, that is the light armor bottom. Okay, if we get one more piece, then... Oh, and that's an axe that I already have. For the sake of your entertainment, I think we got to go one more time. And then I'll begin my long journey of saving up gems again. And we got 2. This is a good. I gotta pull on camera from now on. And there's another light armor top. So I've got almost the full set now. And I believe that's a Kaiser axe. So I can actually evolve some stuff, which is something I haven't been able to do yet, and is something I'll have to think about. So maybe I'll make a video on that as well. That's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have as good luck as I had on your pulls, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can check out my articles at themysidiapost.com and support my Patreon at patreon.com/themysidiapost. Until next time, keep it real, Mysidians.